Hi students, we're still working on author's purpose, and this is part 2 of the video where I contacted authors of various books and asked them about their purpose in writing a particular novel. First we have Christina Gonzalez, and she wrote the book The Red Umbrella. The Red Umbrella tells the story of the Pedro Pan, which was when lots of children from Cuba were sent unaccompanied to America to have a place to live. Well, Christina wrote that book because this is part of her own heritage. She had family members who were part of the Pedro Pan, and she felt that there was really nothing written in young adult literature about Pedro Pan, and that's why she did it. Jeff Herbach wrote Stupid Fast, and I don't have the book because somebody checked it out, but it's a book about a young man named Felton Reinstein who suddenly becomes very large and joins the football team. Well, Jeff wanted to write Stupid Fast because he wanted to write something that would get his kid to stop playing video games. And he got the idea for the title from a cousin of his who could walk so fast. He saw him and he said, "Oh, that is stupid fast," and thought, "Oh, that is a great idea for a novel, or a great title for a novel." The other thing was that there's Felton's younger brother in the novel is a little bit too smart for his own good. And he got the idea for that character from hearing a piano prodigy being interviewed. The piano prodigy said, "Well, if this piano thing doesn't work out, I might become a zookeeper, but I don't really like elephant poo." And he thought, "Oh yeah, that is exactly the kind of character I want to write about." So that was why those two characters, once those two characters came together in his head, he wrote Stupid Fast. We also have Fancy White Trash by Margetta Geerling. And Margetta wrote this about a family that is like, you know, sort of on the crazy, dysfunctional, funny side. Margetta got the idea for writing that after her mother passed away. She'd spent a month with her father in Arizona. And when she came back home, she thought, you know, I really want to write a novel that's about family and the love that family has for each other, even no matter what else is going on. Next we have Fat Kid Rules the World by K.L. Going. Fat Kid Rules the World is actually going to be made into a movie. They're filming it right now. It's about punk rock, and K.L. wrote it because she was interested in punk rock but really didn't know anything about it, and she thinks that that's one of the great things about being a writer, is that you get to explore these things you don't know anything about. She also felt that she wanted to delve into feelings of self-consciousness that someone like the fat kid would have, because she felt that other people can relate to his struggle the way that we all have struggles. Sherry Winston wrote the Kayla Chronicles, and I just love this book of this girl Kayla, and she's like maybe going to try for this dance team, but she was going to try out because to prove that maybe they were exploiting women, but maybe she really does want to dance. And Sherry said that she wrote this book because she loved MTV's Made. She thought that was just a great show. She was obsessed with it. And she felt that the Kayla character was somebody that needed to be pushed into becoming what she really could be, and almost like she needed permission to grow up. So she always thought, well, we all kind of have a little bit of Kayla in us, and we just need a little push, and that's why she wrote that. Danielle Cohen Joseph wrote Indigo Blues, and it's the story of Indigo and Adam. Adam's an almost rock star, and then when they break up, he writes a song called Indigo Blues because he wants to get back together with her. Danielle got the idea for writing it because she kept hearing the song Hey There Delilah by the Plain White T's being played over and over again on the radio, and she thought about, oh gosh, who is this Delilah? And now that she's like suddenly, you know, famous because of this song, and then that was where Indigo and Adam were born, and that's how she wrote that story. Joyce Sweeney wrote the book Players, and what she said was that she had attended a workshop at Mystery Writers of America Sleuth Fest, and they were talking about the difference between a mystery and a thriller. A mystery is we have to figure out who the culprit is. In a thriller, we know who it is, and it's a question of whether or not we can stop them in time. Joyce said that she also loved cowboy movies, and she thought, you know, there was some aspect of cowboy movies where there's the good guys and the bad guys. And so she was also struck by another story, which was in the news years ago, and there was a movie made about it, where a mother hired a hitman to kill a cheerleader so that her daughter could become a cheerleader. And she thought, well, how ruthless are people really? Then she was speaking at a school, a local school, St. Gregory School in Plantation, and told them she was thinking she wanted to write a book about basketball. So the basketball team came and approached her and said, you know, well, why don't you come watch one of our games and maybe you'll get some ideas. The captain of the team was named Chris Sauter, and she felt he was the quintessential good guy, and he became her model for, or her inspiration for the main character, Corey, in Players. We also have Dorian Cerrone. I asked her about the book Dancing in Red Shoes Will Kill You. This is another one of her books, Prom Kings and Drama Queens, but Dancing in Red Shoes is checked out. She said that she wanted to explore the issue of the idea of body issue, because Dancing in Red Shoes is about a girl who wants to be a ballet dancer, but she is a little bit too well endowed and is told that she needs to have breast reduction surgery if she's ever going to make it as a ballerina. So Dorian wanted to explore the idea of a body image, and she was especially interested in historically how our idea of body image has changed, and also how that all plays into fairy tales. After was written by Amy Afaw, and this was on last year's Teen Reads, one of the hottest books. You couldn't get your hands on it because everybody wanted to read it, about a girl who is pregnant, doesn't tell anybody, has the baby and dumps it in a garbage can. Well, the reason why Amy wrote after is because she really wanted to understand what kind of person would do that. What would they really be thinking? And you know, we do have this in the news all the time, dumpster babies. And the other thing is that she thought, she never really thought about the other point of view until she read Alex Flynn's Breathing Underwater. Now, Alex Flynn's Beastly was in her other author report. And then when she realized that Alex Flynn was able to make the abuser sympathetic, because once you knew his story, she thought, well, I wonder if I could write that kind of a story. And an interesting side note is that when I contacted all these authors, Alex Flynn reminded Amy that Alex's very first letter that she got, a fan letter that she got in terms of writing, was for Breathing Underwater, and it was a letter from Amy. So the authors have inspired each other as well. Now remember, author's purpose: to inform, to persuade, to entertain. So keep that in mind, that everything you read, there was so much thought that went into it beforehand.